Definitely nice to see the respect still being paid in the scouting as well, of course, coming through to make sure that both teams are put in the best position possible. I think just like last game, the problem that Valiance might be running into is once again the individual level. I think from a team fighting point of view, every good League of Legends players know how to play a team fight out. The difficult part of League is really getting to that part where you're even or having that lead, and playing the early game against Heretics is certainly where they'll have to keep their patience and well, lack of hesitation ready in terms of being the one making the play or being the one being made a play on.
Valiance, they have a mountain to climb here if they want to pick up their first win of the Amazon European Masters main event. Backs against the wall. I don't want to sell them out already, but it's very important to make clear this would be a massive upset if they manage to win.
It's very true. I think a lot of people are looking at Heretics as one of the teams that they want to go very far. Of course, Spain haven't had that real mark at the European Masters in the longest time. I actually believe since 2018, but Valiance might have been the last time where they really, or Giants actually, where they really had their mark on this URL scene. So now for LVP, I think with a team both like Giants, but also Heretics, of course, in this game, they're looking to just take charge and completely stomp the opposition.
Arcane City gets his hands on that Renekton. And Arcane City are very exciting. Carried top laner coming out of the NLC Division 2 with Raid before he joined Valiance just this split. But the response from Heretics will be the Sejuani and very quickly the Kalista for Jack Spectre locked in as well.
Of course, once again, seeing the clear identity that you're seeing here. They want to play for Jack Spectre down towards the bot side of the map. While the Sejuani can be a flex, knowing that you already have the Renekton on the one side, just kind of makes it look like they want to play that stable tank on the top side. Maybe go down in CS a little bit because of the Blade of the Ruin King rush, but then most certainly attack on the bot side. And seeing as Valiance are rounding up their own bot lane right now with Yuumi still available, they could try and look for that rotation with Asuma Yuumi to come through.
Yeah, very happy to see this. I think that's what Paladin likes to play. In the final, he played a lot of MF up against the Draven, but with the Draven now being taken away, he's freed up to have a little bit more say in these late game scaling AD carries and really become one of the main threats of the team himself, the only remaining member from the Amazon European Masters play-ins qualification just last spring.
If you want to play for bot lane completely, you could just slam an Alistar here on 3 as well. It's one of the few support champions that plays very well into the Sivir. The main issue with that is that he's a horrible blind pick, but sneaking as you're going up to the second ban phase could take away some of the biggest counters. But there's also the fact that you know you're playing into an Asir, so do you want to just get that mid lane matchup immediately? Can look for a Silas here or the Ari for Cyber as well to just contest it, and yeah, there you have it.
Very happy with that lock-in. Ari seeing a lot of success all around the world, really, as we're now moving into that second ban phase. Supports not locked in from either team, so maybe that pool will get trimmed a little bit here.
Yeah, certainly. And the thing is, for Alliance, when they ban supports, they're also banning out their own support champion pool at the same time. So I think it's very important that they have a clear identity of what they want to go for. And I think Heretics, they know what they want to go for. They're banning away some of the disengaged supports. And once again, Yuumi is still available, but have not been banned by Heretics.
So the Braum taken off the table as Postkassen will be unable to log in on that. Normally, Postkassen plays something like the Braum, like the Leona, like the Nautilus, something that offers engage and tankiness opportunities. So removing a bit of his pool as well, whereas the jungle actually being the target here from Valiance.
Most certainly, and they're really just calling out and saying we believe that Sejuani is going on the top side. So with the Jarvan ban instead, interesting to see that the Viego is going to be the ban coming through. Trundle, of course, one of the skirmishing has already been banned, so with Wukong. And when you're banning out the Jarvan, well, what do you really have ready? There's still a Poppy available, which could be really good into the Kalista. And great for facilitating the early game into the mid to late game where you have a team fight you can play for with the Asir and with the Sivir for Valiance. Once again, stabilizing that early game is alpha or omega against a team like Heretics, specifically when Jack Spectre has the hands on a Kalista.
Let's see what get locked in here from Heretics as the Renata Glask was the last ban. A support probably to be the most likely thing, or jungler, as you say, the Poppy still available. As a lot of the jungle pool has been trimmed, it will instead be the Xin Zhao.
So they saved the support counter pick, and I think that makes a lot of sense when you're playing for that bot side instead. With this Xin Zhao, I feel like this just has to be a Poppy. You're playing into Ari, you're playing into Kalista, you're playing into Sin, even to Sejuani as a dash. What else is available that you could pick into this Xin Zhao? I guess Olaf is an option, but I don't think that really gives you that lockdown you're looking for when you want to facilitate your frontliners in a Sivir and in a Seer. It gets locked in either way, and I think that gives you some skirmishing to play for in the early game, something to match at least on this in Sao, but I'm worried about their chances in the mid to late game then, when you don't have too much of a frontline. It's more of a pseudo frontline in a Renekton and Olaf, and then what are we going to wound up the composition with against this Kalista down on the bot side? That's going to be the big question. Don't expect a Kalista blind pick when you know the enemy have the counter. Wow.
Wow, yeah. Stunned, speechless. How do you feel about that, Gulbo, as our Danish brother like locks that in?
There's so much you can lock that in with if you want to contest it. Thresh, Nautilus, still pretty good into the Alistar as well. Even if you want to go down the Enchanter route, that's something you can look for. Rakan will be handshaking the matchup. It's more of a skill matchup, but seeing as you have a Kalista, it's more successful for you. So how it usually plays out with Rakan into the Alistar is that whoever engages first is actually going to lose, because when you engage, the enemy AD carry, or your AD carry rather, will be trying to step up, and then enemy support will be going in. They will be CCing you. By the time that you're getting CC'd, then the enemy AD carry will no longer be CC'd and they will be dealing damage. But when you have the Kalista, you should be winning out on the trades. I think they could have hit it harder with a counter, but I think it's also comfort coming in for White in. But still, from Heretics, clear identity. You're playing for that bot side. For the side of Valiance, you're playing for the carries later in the late game. And in terms of early game, you can look for King to try and get ahead on the Olaf in the early game.
So, on Valiance's draft, I look at this and I say, I'm very happy with the two carries you have. They're meta, they're scaling, I'm happy to see it. But the jungle one, I really think that Puppey would have been, you know,
I'm not gonna linger on it. It's fine. They have a plan coming in, and I'm really excited to see what they'll do with this Olaf. Of course, we have seen Olaf recently in NA as well. More of it was actually in the top side too, with Ripple, of course, playing that. But I also believe we saw it in the C9 series, although I didn't actually watch it. I'm just going from what I think I saw on Reddit. Either way, it's
You're the typical Reddit analyst, man, bro. Jesus.
Bro, I look at NA results on Reddit. I'll be honest.
You don't, damn, man. Lack of respect for NA. We all know that's the bottom region out there. You have to respect the minor regions in the end. Regardless, though, someone I'm very excited for is Arcane Teddy. This man, he has done a speedrun. 1 year ago, he was playing in the UK EL. That's like 1, 2, 3, third tier UK gameplay, I believe. That's down the bottom peg, and now he's playing at the Amazon European Masters main event, and King could be in trouble. So could Arcane Teddy. He has the flash, but Slice and Dice will be able to get him out.
Yeah, so the only summon I think that was actually burned there was the Ghost itself coming through from King. It's not the longest cooldown. Taking a look at the runes, everything at least seems quite normal coming through here. So yeah, the only thing is that Wyden's still opting in for that Guardian rune, where of course on Rakan we've seen loads of different routes, even going for the Glacial, but seeing as you're playing up against the Sivir, you won't really get the value out of that rune until you hit your level 6. And the reason for that is that Rakan is actually one of the few champions that can counter the Sivir spell shield, because when he gets the ultimate, well, he'll undid, he'll hit the W, but the ultimate would connect before the W, and because of that, Sivir spell shield will be down before the knockout.
Gulbo, I have a very serious question for you. Have you had a good week?
That's a good, serious question. What day is it today? Is it Wednesday? Is it first?
Tuesday.
What day
is
it?
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Oh my god, it's only Tuesday.
Okay.
I've had a long day. I'll say that much.
Yeah, okay, well, I have something that can make it better. Because it is Amazon Gaming Week, ladies and gentlemen, for a limited time until September 9th. For deals to upgrade your gaming rig, to level up your LoL play, from hardware to accessories to snacks, everything you need, just go to Amazon.com, then type in your country, /Gaming Week, and it is available in United Kingdom, Deutschland, France, Italy, Spain, Sweden, Netherlands, and Poland. And luckily, Gulbo, you've moved out of Denmark, you've moved into Germany, you can take part in this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel actually used here that you used me for a segue instead of actually, asking me about how my day really was. But yeah, sure. Honestly, why not? I'll go to Amazon and get some of that gaming stuff.
Okay, I mean, can you buy something for me as well? And then maybe you can bring it next time we do something together in Denmark?
Seeing as I was used, no, that's not happening. Now, Bluser cleared his... he's actually gone for a very interesting path. You can see he did his rep of Raptors, then Gromp, and now he's around Grim, King that doesn't have the Ghost. Yeah, she said, Wyden moving up as well. And I wonder if he knows something is happening here, King.
Oh, he has to smite in 1 second if he wants a little bit more heal.
Oh, he can go around here from the vision. He can come from the Raptors
Widen is here. They both have Flash. King, what can you really do? Widen! He misses it, but the knockup still there. The red buff already in Blue Razor's pocket, and he'll get the first blood as well.
Man, Blues are really coming up with a huge pathing there. So once again, Red into Raptors, into Grom, and then being there with the sweeper, making sure that he was unseen, just shutting down the Olaf immediately that did not have that ghost. And now he's taking away the enemy red buff, he's taking away the enemy Crocs, and even from Kingside, he can't go in and counter jungle, because the jungle he'll need to enter is on the bot side, where there's the priority, and still Blues are along to go in and just clear his own stuff.
So, I mean, King might have already been dethroned 3.5 minutes into the game, as a potential dive could be underway here. Full HP pretty much, except just a little bit low. Paladin down to half, flash and heal available, but when becomes lightning doesn't actually connect. Widen, no flash after that previous engage. Good spell shield. The damage though still there. Paladin sure to go down with a couple more autos. Widen though dies to the ignite. Flash and knockback. There is male Jack Spectre. That's an L from Postkassen. As that's 2 kills for Valiance.
Yeah, and I think going for that dive is way too over-ego, especially when you have the changes to the turret. It looks so good for Heretics as well. They had just pushed out King, they got the first blood, they got the Koroks, they got the red buff, and Loser could just have gone back to his own jungle, started clearing it, and then come back the next time they wanted to look for something. Going for a dive there, I think that's way too overzealous.
My god. First of all, Paladin, very good skill to do. Block Widen's initial engage. Flash as well to buy more time, but Postkassen, look at this man, he's breaking angles. Flash, knock up, Tedbot straight back into the turret. I'm proud of my Danish bot game. Well played.
Certainly, so they did get the teleport coming through from D.Va. D.Va did lose a little bit in the mid lane, but even you can take it.
Goes to back, Flash, Slice and Die is still available. Doesn't even need to be used at the moment. Arcane Teddy picks up a kill.
The Heretics showing signs of weakness here. Overzealous dive into top lane, overextended, no vision around it to facilitate Ivo, and now they're looking for a player on the mid lane. You can actually see that Blues is around. White-In was also here just a couple seconds ago, but it looks like they just want to continue with the counter jungling.
Okay, we'll be walking into a very dangerous area. Zyro has rotated up. Blue Razor also there, taking his wolf. So the Gromp, I don't think you can take me safely, buddy. Yet again, there is no ghost. Just use it up in the top lane. Flash, Charm, and King no way out, and can't even get the Grump before he falls.
Yeah, so it's fine. You can get a few kills in the lane, but you can't stabilize the jungle camps right now. You need someone to come in and defend them, but they're just not in a position to do it. So once again, Blues are just taking charge in this early game. He's really the gold lead coming through.
And level 6 slowly starting to be a hit, but King, man, this is rough. The Olaf known to have a strong early game. Does he have a plan B? What does he try and do now?
I mean, once again, that's why the Olaf pick can be a little bit dangerous, right? Because you won't do too much for your team in the late game. You're not even a frontliner that have any CC available to you. So I think getting put this far behind is already just a weakness and will probably remain a weakness. So I think it's up for the lanes once again to step up, but they can't really step up before you get to that late game. The only one you can really play for at this stage in the game would be the Renekton.
So the first Drake will also be taken down here by Heretics, as obviously they have all the jungle pressure in the world, so they can take that away. Jack Spectre will even get the gold, so slight goal lead in pretty much all the lanes except for top lane. But impressive start here from Valiance. They have shown life, and we have to remember this is a region that hasn't won a game in the Amazon European Masters main stage for 490 days. Last time was spring 2021 with Simon Soup, who surprisingly made it to the quarterfinals, only losing 2-1 there to Carmichael.
Yeah, and I think even the fact that the game is this close right now is really impressive from Valiance. I definitely expected that this stage in the early game would be the hardest one to get through, but fact is that they're kind of even with it, and if they can stabilize at least a jungle entrance through their lane soon, so of course the LVP first seed doesn't run away with this game, that would look to be a little bit better for you, but still expecting that these objectives will continue to get stacked, specifically when you have a jungle lead as well for Bluser, and with the first Mountain Drake already going down this early, and the possibility for rotation towards up the Rift Herald, could look dire for Valiance.
King still yet to hit that level 6, so Ragnarok not available. He's been spotted out on a control. What has to give up on initially taking the blue buff.
And the Vision is still there to facilitate it. Mid lane pro. You can see it even from the bot lane as they want to get in on the action. Wide in, and Postcastin is moving up too. D.Va spotted on Vision and respected by Bluesaw immediately. But even then, Syru will have to push into the mid lane, and then they can continue with this jungle invade that they have been so demanding of so far.
I mean, King now has the Ragnarok, but he doesn't really have any help. A 1v2, so looks to be forced to give up his blue buff. D.Va probably the one complaining about this because he won't be able to pick it up, and I'm pretty sure that went over to Blue Racer when it should have gone over to Syru.
And, well, I mean, you can always pick up your own. I think it's just about securing it. Postcastin spotted on Vision.
Yeah, doesn't have the unbreakable will yet, so forced to flash over the wall. It could still follow, but in the end he managed to get out. But eyes on the top lane, actually. It is Arcane Teddy trying to contest this Herald all on his own. It is taken down to 4k. He actually gives up on what he would probably assume to be mission impossible. So he walks out, he gives it up, and that will be the second neutral objective for Heretics this game.
Yeah, they can just keep the neutral objective stacking going for them. They can try and use that down towards the bot side if they want to inflate some gold into Jack Spectra, but even Syru in the mid lane is a reliable choice to go for. I really just think it's on Bluesaw to pick a target. Anything off the litter that he really wants here.
So we are about to hit that 9-minute mark, and I kind of want to see if there's any leads that has developed in the lane, because one of the things you mentioned might be the difference here is simply individual play. And in terms of CS, they aren't doing too well. Obviously, we've seen the jungle how King has been put behind, but in the mid lane, they're 13 CS behind. Valiance in the bot lane, 25 CS behind as well. It's only really Arcane Teddy in the top lane who has had success in the CS department so far.
I think Wyden was trying to get 6, but he's still halfway there. You can see it in the UI as well, right next to the champion portraits.
Nice.
Little purple bar in terms of how close they are to hitting that. So still halfway there, but in terms of AD carry experience, you can see because Jack Spectra has been left so much alone, he's actually sitting at 7 compared to Paladin, who's only just about getting there.
So another Drake will spawn in 1.5 minutes, but for the time being, all the control is still in Heretics' pockets as they dominate the Vision game at the moment. King, though, might be looking for a game. Postcastin unspotted, still not level 6. The ultimate has been popped, but I mean, that's just a clean good flash from Jack Spectra. As King now might be caught out, Ragnarok is available if he wants to use the Ghost. Already there, Paladin being bursted. The Rend is there, and that's a 2v3 kill for the Heretics bot lane as they will look to get more. King, Darwin underneath the turret. Ragnarok will not save you. They get one back, though. D.Va will shuffle Blue Racer back in and pick up the kill. 2v2 across the board.
I've seen this one before once again. They get a bot lane play going for them. They overextend, and D.Va and Postcastin is still around to try and at least lessen up the gold lead that Heretics would have gotten for themselves there. Now in the mid lane, Syru still standing around, picking up a few plates in for himself. So still, in the grand scheme of things, unless Jack Spectra goes down.
Very aggressive here. Postcastin good. Run in and maybe do something, but D.Va not holding back here. Let's see what happens again. So initially, they go for the fight, but they want to get out. King, though, caught out and knocked out, forced to use the Ragnarok, but the damage here from Jack Spectra is simply too big as the Ren. Be aware, after the spell shield, waits it out smartly. Ignite as well, ticks it down, and although the dive continues, a little bit overeager yet again, already half HP on Wyden, so he gets taken down by the Turret that does deal a lot of damage in the early game. And then the TB from D.Va to secure the second one.
Yeah, most certainly, but Drake is up in just a few seconds, and I think still with the bot lane priority that Heretics have for themselves, they can't just look to gain that objective for themselves. Riftel is still in pocket of Bluesaw, so if they want to have some instant mid lane prior or prior elsewhere on the map, they can just use that too.
Yeah, as Postcastin tries to clear some vision, he will need his members there to make sure Blue Racer won't engage, and they will have eyes on this Drake, but a contest looks few and far in between. Won't really happen this time around. King, no Ragnarok, no Ghost, can't really get in, so second Drake instantly taken by the side of Heretics as they might look for a kill in the mid lane. Wyden, it's a bit of damage, yes. He was actually the one engaging onto Postcastin who had to use his Unbreakable Will.
Yeah, I think both charges of the Battle Dance, the E there from Rakan had been used, and just had to flash there. But once again, jungle invade coming through, no Unbreakable for Alistar, so let's see how this one pans out.
Racer might actually be a bit too far forward here. Good damage back there with the wind, becomes lightning, and though Wyden, he goes forward, he is very low, has to dash out, and D.Va will surely pick it up. He goes golden, but look at Syru, he's dancing around the fight, he's looking for all the kills he could ever possibly want. Paladin will fall as well. That's 2 for Syru, and only 1 back for Valiance.
double for Saivu, but I still think D.Va plays that one as good as he can. I think it's very impressive he still managed to pick up 1 kill at least. But down towards that bot side, no members are around. Plating falling just a little bit, Rift Herald active. I think Jack Spectre is just gonna get your gold injection. Unless Arcane Teddy can do something about it. He's roamed all the way down from top down to bot here. Let's see what he can do to this situation.
Son of Larissa, he is pretty strong. He has the Blade of the Ruin King. Be aware of that. No Ignite, no. And now he might be in big trouble. Postcasting is there. Keep him safe. Ren. It's a good amount of damage as well as Arcane Teddy. Can't be looking for more.
And, they still pick up the turret. Pick up the Drake for themselves, and even in the mid lane now, Saivu looking a little bit. Wyden's still around here. I feel like Wyden's been more around his mid laner than his AD carry this game, and I think Saivu just looking to take more plates if he can, be allowed to. I do believe he's got the demolish on that Ahri, but let's take a look at the team fight once again, because it starts out with once again Luso getting aggressive in the jungle, and then because there is the Hex Gate, D.Va is allowed to join the fight before Saivu and the rest of Heretics really expect it, and they at least trade 1 kill back in the exchange.
One thing I want to note here is actually, D.Va has been benefiting from all these plays. He's 3-0. Same obviously for Saivu, but both of these mid laners really having the time of their life at the moment, being successful in these team fights early on.
Now, up towards the top side, still around Luso. Leading invades. I feel like I've seen this one before. On the bot side instead. Valiance started to respond back. Now it's actually King on the counter jungle instead. And Ibo being the one moving down towards the bot side instead.
Good damage coming out on Arcane Teddy, but he can simply slice and dice away. Trades back a little bit more. Ibo might want this actually, but does not podcast this there. Has to respect it. King might be looking for a dive here potentially as Ibo. We'll give a little bit of a hello there. Undertow connects. Ghost already popped, but Ibo can't be slowed early on. A nice juke on the Undertow. Ibo able to walk out.
Yeah, and with that information, you can just look any play on the map.
Yeah.
That's going to be that one. And even on the top side as well, Jack Spectre is also pushing in, so...
Oh, they're still trying to get Ibo, but he just slides out to safety. The Emperor's Divide had nothing to say in that exchange. They can't get anything more on the bottom side of the map. Jack Spectre still pushing in the top lane, and Saivu will get this mid lane tier 1 as well.
Yep, so turrets coming through, outer turrets, all gone down now. In the bot lane, there is one response from Valiance, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be enough. The question is, Jack Spectre, can you take this second tier 1 before D.Va comes around? Hex gates are active too.
Yeah, they get in very quickly. Jack Spectre has to run. Second Herald started up as well. Valiance might want to fight here. King level 9. First item already completed. 2k HP. On the Herald, it's dropping ever lower. They get in. Will he get the steal? It's a pure 50-50. Slam down. The steal is there. But now, though, they try and turn on to D.Va, has to dash away. But he's not out to safety. He just runs into Saivu, who will burst him down. But Jack Spectre falls as well. The damage now on Paladin. Arcane Teddy for the side of Valiance, but Heretics won none of this fight as they back out.
Yeah, so the Lions actually pick up the Vitality. They trade the kills as well, so a win from them in this small exchange. If they want to stay around for the mid lane turret, they could look for a play here. Drake up in 1 minute. They could hold on to that Rift Herald for when that objective finally spawns.
In 45 seconds, so reset time, buy some mods, and get ready for the objective. Soul point for Heretics in 40 seconds.
It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to pan out. Rest of Heretics now coming out from their respawns. Pink wards, 4 of them in inventory. Still refillable potions on Ibo. But back to the replay, you can see how it stands out. You called it out correctly. It's just a 50-50 here. Eye is not open. 1 HP is what it comes down to when it gets secured off. Great charm onto D.Va. That at least allows them to trade that 1-for-1. Is he allowed to dash away? Then it's just going to be the 1 kill and nothing traded back. At least they do that, but Rift Herald, as we said, available for King. Question is he going to use it on this wave?
Valiance trying to push in this mid lane, but the bottom side control is heavily in favor of Heretics. Swiden tries to poke out a little bit here. So the Shirley has been spawned in the mid lane. Drake though being taken Heretics, it's completely free. As the simply the respawn from Alliance here will try and push in the mid lane, maybe get a second turret, but it's the soul point they're giving up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also hectic Drake on that soul point, but at least they pick up two towers. And I think, all things considered, this was probably the best thing Valiance could get for themselves. I do believe it's a good macro decision for them. They're already behind in the game, so just going for a straight-up team fight, it's not really going to help them out. Going for the mid lane play there instead, but certainly a good decision.
Yeah, so Ibo will be walking down, trying to push in this lane. There is still no Baron on the map for a good 2 minutes, so they will simply try and get a bit of chip damage down on this turret. A big wave that could potentially be denied as well. That's Postcast and taking the Hex Gate. Might be gone upon here from Blue Racer, who wants to fight, but a good pulverize there. Just simply deny any further engage. Be careful in your jungle now. Valiance, you don't really have any vision, so Paladin respects that nicely and doesn't try and rotate.
You say your jungle, but I'm pretty sure from the get-go that this game started, that has not been Valiance jungle right there. That has been Blues' jungle, and it continues to remain so as well. In the top side, you get responded to on the play.
He really wants the turret, but I think he has good damage. But it would be Heretics who would be able to respond the quickest on the play, so D.Va will start running out, but the Hex Gate, that covers a lot of distance very quickly. And if you're wondering, what is Valiance doing? Well, they're going for a play in the bot lane themselves. They will surely get Ivo here, as long as they block the dash if they can. One more auto, Postcast picked it up, but D.Va can't get out of the top side, so a 1-for-1.
1-for-1 in that exchange, but D.Va most certainly a more useful member to get off the rift, and Ivo has been on the Sejuani this game. There's no real objective to continue taking. Top wave is not really in a position for Heretics to push on, but down towards the bot side, Valiance, well, they could try and look for something, but I do believe that the resets would come through before anything happens. So for now, it's not going to result in anything big on the map.
So let's take a look at that again. This is what happened in the top side. D.Va, I mean, yeah, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Tries to get the Hex Gate, but yeah, it was rough. The Hex Gates really cover a lot of distance, and you can really see them come to fruition in that place.
Yeah, it's one of the things that when you have a team composition that don't work around, or that work around flanks, always great to see this map as well, because you can get through walls, you can get behind members where they don't expect it, and on a map like this, it's one of the entrances that you actually want to have warded up just a little bit when people are looking for plays. Unfortunately for Valiance, I mean, there's only really one member that can try and go for this. It's going to be the Renekton and the Alistar, and outside of that, I think the rest of them want to stand in the back line. And now, getting out on the map, on-set Hex Gates as well. Heretics, they are moving up towards the top side of the map, can trade around this Baron in terms of gaining vision. And of course, blue buff is alive, and they would love to deny it, but D.Va just barely picked it up before the rest of Heretics arrived.
While Heretics continue to dominate every single bit of the jungles that Valiance might have thought was theirs, let's zoom out and let's remember how dominant we expected this game to be. We are 20 minutes in. This game is very much still alive, even though it is Heretics with a small lead.
Oh, most certainly, and I think you live and die by D.Va right now in this game. He's been the one that's been so reliable. Arcane Teddy as well, fighting Blues at least, or Ivo at least in a side lane, is the reason he's currently sitting on a shutdown, but still waiting for him to pick up that Frozen Fist to be that front line. And yeah, there you have it. Hash just been picked up. You can see it with a 2.4k gold lead. He's actually the big one. Jack Spectre and the rest of Heretics, though, have started up the Baron, and you can see question mark pings are coming out. Hex Gates there as well to close the gap faster.
Can they get it in time? Remember, the Ren stacks are stacking up, so have an easy way to secure it.
Oh no!
Oh, that's a big mistake as King goes golden. Maybe tries to get his crown back there in a sense, as Arcane Teddy will be able to clear out the vision. A control ward in the pit doesn't actually spot out that ward, so might be a bit of false confidence here from Alliance, feeling they have cleared out all the vision that Heretics have.
That's one way to get into the highlight montage of European Masters, unfortunately. So stopwatch not going to amount to much for King. 1 minute until this Hextech Drake will come online, and of course that would be soul for Heretics, and giving that over with anyone would of course not be a good situation.
Main problem is though, Ivo takes time to kill, and look where the pings are from Heretics. They want to run towards the Baron. The question mark pings are coming down. King has to run up there. Paladin is just continuing to clear the wave. He's not following his team. Ivo might look for the solo kill here, as that's a tank Sejuani. You can't kill it, but he can kill you. Forces to flash away. D.Va is here. What can he really do?
The rest of them coming up towards the top side.
They'll turn towards D.Va. Good Emperor's Divide, and he buys space to stay alive for now, but the flash and the charm is there. He's gone. That's the main carry. You said they live and die by him. And now we can see if they can survive without him. Paladin, you have to do the damage. Arcane Teddy strong as well. Blue Racer goes low, but not quite down. Postcast in the front line goes golden. But the unbreakable will is not really unbreakable. Jack Spectre can kite forward and look for more. Paladin low. Flash, auto, and Jack Spectre with the double. It could be a triple as well. And that's the Baron for Heretics.
Yeah, Baron down. I feel like one of them should move over to the Drake just to make sure that King doesn't solo up the Hex tech for himself. But with the prioritization they have right now, it looks like it. No, actually, Ivo, he's going to come off respawn. He can take the Hex gate and then move over to the Drake. So should be able to get it. That's at least a big one I'm looking for right now.
0 damage dealt by D.Va. TP's in here. Ivo wants to disrupt and make sure they can get this soul themselves. But with D.Va TPing in, it should be pretty hard. Smite is available. He can really burst down King. So that is a Drake. And it's a good silver line, to be completely honest, for Valiance.
The question is,
by 5 more minutes.
Does it even buy you 5 more minutes, right? That's the big question, because you're in this situation where you're now, well, 6k gold behind. And you're playing up against a Baron buff and a team comp of Heretics, which is, of course, very good at fighting these dives, you can see right here. So we're going to be used to see. I think D.Va, he did his best in staying alive there. Great Emperor survive. If he had just had another dash in his kits, which he, of course, unfortunately doesn't, would have made it out alive. And then the big team fight is just a big difference in a wallet. King on the Olaf as well, not able to do much, not a frontliner, more just someone who's slapping around. And then Jack Spectra, the big highlight player here towards the end, flashing forward to secure the deal.
Good change you see as well, and normally I'm the one to ask the question, but those 5 more minutes they bought might really not be it, as the Amazon Baron power play is truly alive. Let's see how much they can get. Cyro looks to kind of deny a potential rotation. Arcane Teddy goes in for a little bit of a trade on Widen, but has to back off as Jack Spectra is there. D.Va has to stay alive. Let's remember that, but he might get taken down. Goes golden to bite down. Paladin might be able to stretch with his rival. Has to flash away and buy a little bit of space, but he falls to the red buff for something. And this could be a fight. Heretics are winning. They've lost the AD carry, but they've also lost D.Va. Somehow he falls, and that's the fight. Surely gone. Jack Spectra still alive underneath the treads. He doesn't care. He'll look to take down them all, as that is Arcane Teddy falling as well. And another fight for Heretics.
Yeah, no big minion wave though. Let's see what they could do with these 3 ranged minions. Maybe potentially take the top side turret. Outside of that, maybe get the inhibitor, but I don't think this will be the end just yet. Still very small dev time, as you can see, at 15 seconds on D.Va and Paladin. And yes, Jack Spectra and company, they just have to go for the retreat.
Silver lining, Paladin got a very big shutdown there onto Cyro, so it's some gold back in his pocket, but he is still very much behind. Let's see, in particular D.Va, how did he go down? So Blue Racer engages on him, and this is here where D.Va in a couple seconds goes golden. But eyes on him, I think it's just Blue Racer's attack damage afterwards that is able to secure the kill. No, an incredible jump by Cyro.
That's actually an unreal jump from Cyro while he's running away, and that just sets up the team fight afterwards for Jack Spectra. They finally are successful in a dive after failing the 2 times in the early game, of course. This time,
to call that out.
They get it.
Man.
Hey, it's about making a mistake and improving on it.
Exactly. That's what Amazon European Masters is all about, as Paladin, no healing will save you from that one, buddy, as Arcane Teddy and King are the next targets. Postcast as well. He's the one receiving mail this time around, as he'll be filled with death and gloom this game as he goes down one more time.
And now continuing once again, minions Baron up in the mid lane, bot lane. Ivo is pushing in. That fight right there was a 4 versus 5, and now with the 20 seconds on 3 members, they could look to potentially end this game.
That is the one we're looking at. It's both of the strong members in that sense alive. Arcane Teddy the front line, but also a decent amount of damage. But up against 5 Heretics, who after the Baron power play are now 10k gold ahead. It was a 2k goalie before that, just to kind of put into perspective how much it has grown.
Most certainly, and I think even now trading, going back to that Drake, of course, that Valiance was able to garner for themselves. There's 2 minutes for the next one to respawn. Now you have both inhibitors in the mid and the bot lane. All the pressure you need to have on your opponents is there, and we're just looking to see Heretics put the finishing touches on this game. And I was looking for Jack Spectra to pick up a pentakill here. I saw the first 2. I think he saw it too. He wanted to move forward. Saw the low HP Renekton. Saw the Alistair afterwards, but unfortunately did not have that flash available to flash forward this time around.
And Valiance, they are soon to have some important summoners up. D.Va's flash in 10, Paladin's flashes back up. But they're just simply so far behind. 2.5 items only on D.Va, their main carry. Still no 3 item spike on Paladin, but that won't stop them from trying, as D.Va is in the front line, locked up. The Emperor's Divide won't buy you space. Flashes, but still won't survive, as Jack Spectra enters into the backline. Cyro has already taken down the front line. Paladin ulti simply to try and run, as that's a spear that connects onto Postgasm, but he's able to get out. But I don't think the base will survive for much longer, as Heretics charge towards the base.
Yep, 5 members still alive, only one Paladin against the world. I don't think there's much saving that specific world for him either. And this is just all about Heretics. Dominating fashion, especially from the jungle in the early game, but moving forward to the ends, it should just be them picking up the game. 2-0 in the Amazon European Masters for Heretics.
Yeah, and yet again, not a perfect game. Some sloppy dives in the early game.